Hi guys. Today I am going to be making something I'm sure all of you know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But I'm going to tell you the story of it. The original name for this was the Red Horse Bread. And that was back in about 1902, 1903, and over the years it kind of changed. But let me give you a couple of stories about how this got its name. Back when they made this, it was taken on fishing trips. Fishermen would, well, it was actually a fishing village, and when they caught the fish, they would dip them in a batter and they'd fry the fish. Well, while the fish was frying, the dogs outside could smell it, and they would just go wild. So once they got all their fish dipped in the batter and cooked, they would roll this batter and dip it and deep fry it, and then once it cool, they would throw it to the dogs to get them to be quiet. Okay, and another story was Confederate soldiers making dinner around a campfire heard that the Yankee soldiers was approaching, so they would toss these to yapping dogs. It was deep fried cornmeal cakes, and they would throw it to the dogs to get them to be quiet. There's so many stories about this, but I kind of like the one of the fishing village that cooked the fish, and then they would take the batter and deep fry it and give it to the dogs, and that's how the actual name of this got changed. So we're going to start with 1 cup of cornmeal, 1/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. Okay, and here I've got 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Of course, I always put them all in the same deal to save on dishes. And we're going to add that. Then we've got 1 egg that I brought to room temperature, and we're going to crack that in a bowl. Always crack it in a bowl so you can check it. And I'm going to beat that just a little bit. Alright, we're going to dump that in there. And get some of this out of the way real quick. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add 1/2 cup of finely diced onions. Then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup, 1/2 cup of milk. We're going to get that all stirred up. Now I've got some oil heating up on the stove, and I'm going to let this rest for just a second while my oil is heating up on the stove, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now we got our oil till about 350. And I'm going to take a spoon and I'm just going to drop doubles in there. Be careful not to burn yourself. I'm only going to do about 3 at a time. I got a little worried earlier because I could smell, I was chopping onions up to put in this, and I could smell those onions, and it smells just like propane gas. And I was running all over the house checking all of my fittings and stuff, and then I remembered that they actually use onion juice to put in propane gas, because propane gas has no odor at all. So they use onion juice in propane gas to give it an odor. And here I was just freaking out. All right. Let's get some more in there and get them going. Look at there, guys. All right, let's get some more in there. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Mmm. Oh my gosh, those are good. Alright guys, we're doing our last batch here. Now I'm going to tell you the true story of the origin of these. In the early 1900s, there was a gentleman of color. These originated in South Carolina. And this gentleman of color used to have him a little setup down by the river. And he would catch all different kind of fish. And he would cook fish for the elite of the town, like senators and governors. And well, they'd come down there and eat. Of course, anybody could buy them. It wasn't just for the elite. But anyway, once he cooked the fish, he would take the dough, add a little milk to it, and a little whatever he wanted, and he would cook them with the same oil that he cooked the fish in, and he would serve them with the fish. And at that time, they were called red horse bread. In today's world, we know them as hush puppies. So the stories that I told you at the beginning of this video is just stories people came up with over the years to make the origin of hush puppies sound better, sound more interesting. But these originated South Carolina, a gentleman of color, and he would cook up his batter that was left and serve it with the fish. And this was in 1902, 1903, and it wasn't probably until about the 1930s or so that like Louisiana and southern states started picking them up and they became a southern dish. But that's when they started changing the names, and they started coming up with hush puppy, because the fishermen honestly did cook up the extra batter and they would throw it to their dogs to get the dogs to hush. And that's when the name changed. But the actual name for these are the red horse bread. Guys, I also wanted to tell you that I'm going to be adding cooking videos to both channels until I get the cooking channel built up. Once I get it built up some, because I want everybody to be able to see the videos. And not everybody on my Duke channel is on my Simple Cooking channel. So I will be loading the videos up on both channels until I get more built up on the other channel. Then it will go exclusively for cooking. And there'll be cooking videos on the Duke channel, but just very seldom. And they were good. There you go. Hush puppies.